Okay, it's the 2nd of September 2015, and I tried joining the Daily Classical. Last time I played it, I got massacred. Let's see, but we did win the Daily Classical, not the Daily Classical, the monthly Classical, believe it or not, at the end of August. So some of the Daily Classicals have been pretty cool. Let's see, luck of the pairings, or alright, so it's a 5-minute Berserk here, 5-minute. Let's try and play Ruy Lopez. Okay, so this is the Daily Classical, or Martial Gambit. Can we play Martial Gambit? Okay, Ruy Lopez is played. Right, we play B5 here. So one aspect of this pawn in the centre, it is controlling some important dark squares. It's blockading the e-pawn. There's a reason why the Ruy Lopez is quite popular. And Lev Aroni, who recently won the Super Tournament, he's a fan of e5. There's nothing wrong with e5. I think I've steered away just because sometimes you hear about more exciting openings like the Sicilian Defense, and you want to play something exciting. But you know, the classic Ruy Lopez has got a lot going for it. In fact, here I'm wondering about winning the bishop. We're not playing just to win the bishop. Has he fallen into something? Or is this a trap? I don't know. It looks as though this is like, I don't think that's bishop f7. So could this be a useful trap? Okay, so hi all on stream. Is this a trap? It looks as if got him thinking here. Hope not for too long. Oh boy, this is a 7-minute wait. Checking my emails, I think. That wouldn't be allowed during a normal over the board game. I'm going to check my emails and stuff. YouTube comments and stuff. It's your move. Can we do this? In fact, this bishop's also quite a nice diagonal. Okay. On Reddit Chess, someone says they've recently discovered the Delete Chess import game feature. Prove this up. I was wondering what you guys think of it. Actually, that import game feature has been getting some press coverage recently. Someone also decided in another thread to have Delete Chess analyze the recent Nakamura Carlsen game. So C takes b3. Okay, his move. and someone analysed it 10 times, and there's a slight variation in accuracy assessment apparently, so that's quite interesting as well. Okay. Congrats to the winner of the Singfield Cup in the thread, yeah, Aronian. They all drew, it seems, in the last round. Ah, okay. Can we just castle here? Or is that losing a piece? I'm hoping it's okay. This is a loose piece, right? So there might be some double attacks and things. Maybe rook d1 is dangerous. Rook d1. Oh, this could be a bit tricky. I'm hoping not terminal. Maybe, no, knight d7 is not good. This could be tricky. Maybe that's a bit of a let off. I thought rook d1 is interesting. So he drew with Topalov in that last game. Wow, this is a bit of a slow game. I didn't really expect to be so slow here, this game. First game, I was winning that piece. Right, this one. Knight b6, wasn't he? Wouldn't have thought there's too much going on. Bishop e6. Knight b6, rook here to hold onto the pawn. Okay, this pawn, don't want to lose too many pawns. B4's coming up. As long as G3's, I don't think there's anything too much. Hi on stream, hi. Alright, so B4, I don't think there's anything too much going on at the moment. It's going to win under the C pawn. What's next? See, like doubling rooks is the classic thing to do. If you've got one rook on the 7th, try and get 2 to attack all these pawns statistically. A rook on the 7th is attacking loads of pawns, so I think this is a sort of thing to do. He's not controlling that file at the moment. I'm trying to possess that file. Go entry point, rook d2. Tactically, I'm not sure there's that much going on. Any f pawn move, actually, there's bishop d4, pinning the rook. The knight move, I don't think is that dangerous. The knight is not really that dangerous. That I think just here, it's not really going places. So you can't move too many things. Give him that pawn to gain a bit of speed for this plan. He's really used his time. Someone on 10 now leading to it. I'm hoping we get some fast movers. He's really used his time. I wonder to try and get a quick checkmate. I wonder if it's worth playing rook e2 as though that's some sort of mouse step just for the back row. It's not really worth it. I think essentially rook d2 is really, it must be a cool move, because here actually there's I thought there was something, no, maybe a mistake. What's a fine move here of the rook f1. Oh, there's bishop d4, hang on, bishop d4. Alright, that took years, that game. Oh well. Favourite opening, anything that gets a decent position is a good opening. So sometimes that can be just rare bird openings. Let's try e4 here. Let's try King's Gambit. It's done well on the 2 previous tries in the classicals. Because this is actually getting a decent position if you can get the pawn back. Or the central control, this looks like a decent position. 97 we could take here. I'm not sure this is a great response so far to the King's Gambit, because I think there's also like h4 on the cards. Once queen d4 runs into knight c2, other than that, that would have been a great idea. Queen d4. Probably kick this back though, and then h4. So queen d4, knight c2 check. Tempting, but better to try and break down the pawn chain. No, e5. Just trying to break this pawn chain. Also, this diagonal's like weakened. g4. Maybe just bishop takes. Because, I mean, there's compensation here. The queen can get on that diagonal. And just something like here. I really want him to play this and to play this. Maybe knight takes is on the cards. The check. Yeah, probably knight takes is on the cards. That'll be good compensation. I mean, straight off the bat with 2 pawns. Right, knight e4. Actually, queen b3. There's knight c5. I'm just wondering about this knight. Knight e4 though looks fun. to some extent, although knight f6 is not that clear. Queen d3. This is like knight takes g5 coming up. Actually, knight f6. I think there's knight takes e5 because takes there's queen h5. And I think just taking here because of queen g4. This diagonal is just like two or three pawns with the f file attack. Is pretty good stuff usually. In the King's Gambit, this knight's kind of offside. This looks like a delicious position coming up. If the rook has to move, the knight takes f4. Must be good with knight e6 coming. Any castles, there's queen takes h4, but knight e6 actually blocks the protection of the pawn. I'm going to play that because I'm thinking queen takes g4 next. I think taking, I don't think there's any d5 just yet. I think so. This pawn might be dropping off next. Knight f6. I think probably just take and then take here. I do like the King's Gambit quite often for surprise weapon in 5-minute chess. Talking of favourite openings. It's quite a popular playlist I've got for the King's Gambit. If you want to check on YouTube my King's Gambit playlist, I've got quite a few. Yeah, they seem to, it captures people's like imagination a bit. The King's Gambit. It's not, and it's sometimes rarely. It's sometimes Nakamura's played the King's Gambit. I managed to win against Adams last time he played Adams, the top British player. Adams didn't put him away, but he had a good position. So it's interesting as a surprise weapon. Here there's rook f7, maybe for the check. Rook f7 for this check here. Another thing about this position, this is always a bit dangerous because there's also, it seems like knight f6. Oh, hang on, that's interesting. I wonder about knight g5 here. We'll just keep on this diagonal. Maybe queen f5. Mind you, there might be d5 next. Actually, queen f5 does hold against that like bishop. Mind you, then it's queen h4. Okay, I'm just going to play this just to sort of mobilize and try and castle over here. Alright, someone on stream saying there's an engine game Commodore used it to beat Stockfish. Incredible. Oh man, I should video annotate that or something. I think I might have actually. Did I not video annotate something like that? It seems Commodore is apparently leading the race in this, but Commodore is a commercial chess engine, right? So the thing with Stockfish, it's free, yeah? So I don't know the difference in people's minds between a free one, which is like 3,800, and commercial one, which is like 3,900. For the sake of most game analysis after a game, wouldn't you just go with the free one? I don't know, what do you guys think? Are you going to really pay for an engine now? Because there's stockfish. What do you reckon? Stick with stockfish? This pin here is good stuff. Alright, it's finally reacting to that one. So we've got some pressure here, I think. I just want to castle queenside. It is holding the structure together without dropping h4 at the very least. Rook f8 is another sort of pin. I want to just like casting queenside. There might be an idea of takes is worth what might be worth investigating. The king over here for a minute. 94, I think there's takes, and this mating after rook f8 there. Because this pawn is controlling the exit square, right? So knight e4, queen takes e4, knight takes, bishop takes. Right, hitting the rook. Okay, that's not being played. See, this is a waiting move, I think. So much for quick movers. Got two players now, one off the other, that are using nearly 100% of their time. Well, one really did use nearly 100% of their time, and this one is now using a large percentage of time. Come on, what does he do here? Okay. Some action. Take the king to maintain the pressure. So we got a lot of pressure on f6. All right, okay. If this queen moves, then check is terminal. Again, I think, yeah, this can't be good. This is threatening mate, like that variation earlier. I think there's a mate threat. The games have been like nearly 100% time usage from the opponent, so I hope this doesn't carry on too much. So the next game might be for 5 if I berserk. Okay, we'll berserk. He's berserked as well. Let me try a French defense. Knight c6. This is Watson's Dangerous Weapons book, the early knight c6. You get a fast attack on the head of the pawn chain. Okay. Is he taking here? This b4 I'm hoping is useful. Given he hasn't got the light square bishop, I'm less scared about h7 than usual. Yes, we have got a fast moving, game for a laugh opponent here. Actually, probably d5 is vulnerable to this sort of tactic. So he's probably going to take on d5. Mind you, hang on. Yeah, he wins c5. It's possible. Maybe this. Protects this rook. c5. Against this knight d5 stuff. Right, so c5 for d4. Dislodge the knight for queen a4. Is there any attack? Bishop d7. Or just how fast is his attack? To make it a bit quicker, I'll try this instead. Okay, oh god. Right, that's pinned at the moment. This is getting really dangerous. Ah, hang on. Is there some naughty business here? Okay, is there naughty business heading this way pretty quickly? The knight sack, if the queen was able to take that, sort of, it's nearly like terminal. Queen d3 heading for knight g6. There might be c4. Takes. There might be, I don't know, okay, it's probably mating h7, rook g7. This position is close to mating. D6. Hang on a sec. I want to just take out e5 for bishop f5. Let's just do this. To get a pin. We've got that pin, then there's knight a5 and knight takes b3. Also there's c4, c3, but there's always queen c1, okay. What's happening? g4. It's running knight a5 taking b3. Is he playing g4? There's bishop e4. That could be annoying. Try this. So knight takes b3. That pin. Oh, what's happening here? I didn't see that move. Okay, the queen's trapped. Ouch. Still, I think there's good compensation. Famous last words. Okay. Last words here. Is there these pawns? There's G4. I think I'm going to sack the bishop at this rate for these pawns. Another pawn. There's no need to sack the bishop. Hold on a sec. There's no need. Is that knight c7 or bishop here? Right, he's the one in time pressure. Just knight moves, bishop takes g4. If rook e4, there's rook bishop f3. Oh, there's rook f1. Okay, back to the drawing board there. Ah. It's a bit short on time. If there's knight before, there's good coordination. Well, the back row's weak. Let's get back to the back row. Oh, that was a check, yeah. Get the king out of here. Bishop g6, trying to avoid this being mating net around here. How is that actually possible to avoid that? Well, it's good that the rook's over there. You can just get rid of this pawn before it does damage. Gives the hold this pawn for a moment, because we can surround this. Oh, he's going to play rook d7. Nope. Let's take this guy off. Trying to avoid the embarrassing stalemates. That was a quicker game anyway. It speeded up the tempo of things. Five minutes each. What is next? This was like 5-minute game here. Let's try and play a Ruy Lopez classical. Is it going to be a Scotch game? Just for a bit of variety. Oh, okay, I'll go to this. Tango. Whatever this is now, I don't know. No idea. Some sort of weird stuff. His knight takes e5 actually. Something to write home about. There's a bishop f4. So if he just king e8 here. the king's been displaced clearly. On the other hand, this is a tempo gain. On the other hand, he's got a tempo gain. I'll just protect the knight. See, knight g4 takes her. Knight g4, is that worth punt? Or trying to trap the bishop. Where's the bishop going? Takes her. Or goes back apparently. What about b4 there though? If it's not giving up the bishop. Isn't this interesting? I don't know, it might not be. I'm just wondering for a3 after. As the example, a3 would try and block in the bishop behind its own pawn. And the king's in the centre here. But is he blocking his own bishop? Because then there's king f7 getting out of here. I think knight e7 might be useful. This could be a trouble. Okay. It is trouble. Okay, it's officially. Hang on a sec, hang on. Bishop takes d2, just to slow down this e5 business. But then when does this bishop go back there? There's now f4. I sort of just blundered a piece. Oh, that was clever. And this is, I can't see any way not lose a piece. No, g6, f4, 97. Hang on, 97. Well, he takes and then f4. Unfortunately, seems to be losing a piece out of this. It's a shame. Just lost a piece there, but not much. Pressure from this position, or is it pretty gone? He's got e6 next. That was a disaster opening, if ever was one. Knight takes e6 is not working. I wanted to play a solid Ruy Lopez, and then that happened. Okay, so rook g4. Yeah. Oh, he's taking all these pawns. It's over. Any more tricks? What is it? Is it really over? And this is I think it's really over. I can dissolve these pawns or something. That's not happening. Oof. That was some terrible opening. Oh man, that was some disaster. 5 minutes each. Oh man, I don't really want to play this guy. Doesn't break a streak anyway. There's no streak to break, it's already been broken. Queen c2, h4, h5. That's bishop g4, f3. What about b4 and c5? Oh, I think f4 would have been good. Oh boy, this could be bad. Oh man, this could be bad. Hang on, there might have to be bishop takes b6 on f4, because otherwise this is really dangerous. Queen d2 to try and hold f4. Is this going to be bad news, this game? It's going to play, it looks like quite a good position for black. Queen d2, f4. G3. How dangerous is this f4 here? Black's got a seemingly quite harmonious pieces called the knight's not brilliant, I suppose. Alright, f3 is really dangerous here. Can we just... Is the king getting smashed? maybe the king is getting smashed. Ooh. Oh, okay, he's going to have e3. Oh, this is going to be bad, isn't it? With e3 coming up. f3 I think I can handle, sort of. I don't know, but this is going to be tricky. Yeah. Look at this. Defensively, e takes, f takes. It looks as though the king's pretty weak here. I mean, say queen e5, king g2. The king's pretty weak there. Might be better in something like queen here. If he takes, then queen takes f2, fg, queen g3. There's only one part of the pawn chain left, this h2 pawn. Queen d4, okay, this is getting really, really dangerous. Maybe just bishop f1. Don't know. Queen d4 might be a good defensive move here though, hang on. Just, he's going to stick his queen over here though, probably. He's trying to avoid... No, knight takes e4. I wonder. Wait, it does that? Knight takes e4. I'm not sure that's mating. Oh, blimey, things are getting violent here. I'm going to take this and see what happens then. So bishop f1 is like getting mated. Bishop d3 might be a safer bet because I think he just takes and comes to h3. Bishop g2 might be more long-winded. Is it? So imagine bishop f5. Bishop f5, what about h4? Does that slow anything down? Ooh, this is going to be interesting. He's also on this rook, so any knight f6 is just backfiring. Bishop d3, queen c1. h4 might be palatable. I think. Is there knight g5? Bishop d3, queen takes, not to try and blunder the rook. Okay, okay. Now hold on a sec. What's happening here? Can you get this bishop back here to defend g2? g4's defended. That's defended. You can't easily go to h3. Bishop f1. Right, there's knight f5 coming up. Bishop f1 might be useful anyway. Knight f5. Maybe something like g4. Maybe not. Queen d3. Is he getting a draw or something after knight takes h4? That's interesting. No, I think the king's gonna have some protection. Maybe not. I'm gonna exchange to sack time. 93 queen g5. Let's just do this, just to get rid of the attack. Potentially, there's a weak pawn here on f3. I'm wondering 1 minute 45. If the king's not getting mated, I think I can round up this pawn. I don't know if I'm being mega optimistic. I don't mind taking there. These pawns are pretty good. If there's rook e3, rook e5. I don't mind g4 either. Well, just take this pawn, take this pawn. Right. That was one of the ideas, to get at least the pawn for the exchange, to wipe out the attack. Check and then f4 for g5 would be good. Try and get a mating thing with rook h7 later. Okay. It's forcing. Okay. Oh, he's got g5. There's f4. Hang on. Is this going to be tricky? What about f4 coming up? Oh, don't tell me. This doesn't look too hot without any f4 on the cards. f4 here is not working. I thought I'd have done better there. I'm not getting anything. Oh, that didn't work out at all well. What does it take here? Oh boy, that was a disaster and a half. That didn't work out how I expected. Well, no, it's knight f93. The exchange set. There was rook f8 later. Wow. I didn't understand that. Thought I'd have compensation. Oh no. When did they join? April. Okay. 5-minute game. Oh. Let's play this anyway. This is pretty fast paced. This could favour an attack. Ooh, quick free. Bounce back. $136 are in this tournament. Yeah, I'm in shock. You know, with the exchange sack thing, game 4, I found it shocking. I just thought I'd get some compensation with the exchange. The rook dominated that bishop. I was absolutely horrified the game before. What happened? I mean, not to pick up any compensation. I thought, you know, taking the pawn, was that some sort of trap? Okay, curious light. Is he berserking back? Nope. I'm not sure about this fianchetto. Not entirely sure. I think it takes f5, threatens f6. We didn't go for that. So g4, just trying to, if we can get the rook on the g file. Is that a bit too optimistic? It's probably a little bit on the optimistic side of things. Mind you, he's having to open that g file or not. Getting a few pawns. What about f6? There's rook f6. No. For a knight, these pawns on f5, I don't believe it. Because everything's on h6 there. h6. Can't speak. Okay, it might be queening a pawn. That's a small technical detail for a moment. So b takes check. King moves here, f5. C takes, bishop takes h6. Queening, bishop c1 mating. What about that for a variation? Fantasy variation. We let him queen, we checkmate on the h file. If you want to see some aggressive chess, this is the channel. You won't get any more aggressive than this. I've studied some really aggressive players. This is mild as a piece sack. Okay, so b takes, check. King h7, f5. Okay, he's not playing ball. Can we not play this check now in any case? Fg, threatening queen takes almost. Right, queen takes almost. Okay, does this put a spanner in the works? Does it put a spanner in the works? Right, I'm checking now. Okay, this queen sack. King g7. Then what? There's nothing. There should be nothing. Here, takes, probably nothing either. Queen g4 might be sensible, just holding that pawn. G takes, we've got g file pressure. Queen g4. Let me just take him back here. Rook h6, king g7. Taking this pawn, first. Takes, check. Yeah, rook h7, queen here, mating. Alright, there's another idea here. Takes. Alright, can we not take here? That's bishop d4 check. So hang on, just hold d4 for a moment. There's bishop e6 to f5, holding d7. We can pin this guy, or even if he does a counter sack, it should be okay. So bishop f5 for g takes. Actually, hang on. Well, here I think there's rook h7 check. Queen h6 mating, because the pawn's holding f6. I think rook h7. You have to be over 18 to watch this stream, not just from the language point of view, my constant use of F words, but also the chess is pretty X-rated. Yeah, this is X-rated chess. You shouldn't be seeing this stuff on Twitch. It's only meant for a casual like gaming network, not hardcore classical gaming like this is. Yeah, so this is hardcore classical aggressive chess. I've basically said I don't give a toss about engine abusers. Bring it on. Most of the time I can take it, because the commentary is quite good on these longer games when you're not playing an engine abuser. So, you know, small downside, but you know, I mean, it's worth it for the odd attacking game like that. Someone's on 29 here, guys. I mean, it's unlikely to win this tournament. Unlikely we're going to win this tournament, though. But anyway, is this in the fence? Let's try a Najdorf. It's 4-0 in our favour. Let's try Najdorf. What's Scheveningen set up? Because he's not playing a Kaz attack because he's committed the bishop. I don't think the Kaz is quite good against Scheveningen. Oh, he's playing a delays, right? Okay, could be completely smashed. Yeah, it's fine. We're going to be completely smashed maybe on the king side. Oh dear. Now I've got a bad feeling about this game. White's play looks pretty good. Knight e5 to c4. I don't know. This is looking like an attacking game for sure. Just could be on the wrong side of it here. Knight e5 to c4 is one plan. Another plan is to try and hit e4 hard with b5, b4 and bishop e7 hitting e4. But yeah, this looks quite a dangerous setup from White. Okay, that move inspires me. That it's a little bit looking on the slow side. It might be, I might be wrong, but black's plan is to hit e4 hard sometimes. So we just want to also mobilize the rooks and stuff. Okay, bishop f3. It looks still a bit on the slow side, and it's kind of neglected c4. So maybe instead of this, we can go like this to c4. That might be fun on castling queen side. Castle's king side, yeah, this is a standard plan as well. I think rook here, just to put a knight here. Then there's things like knight takes for queen takes c3. I'm not sure all these moves go together. I'm not entirely sure. There seems to be a few too many pawn moves. That looks odd. That looks distinctly odd. I'm wondering b4. Takes, a takes, queen here. On e4, queen d3. d5. Maybe just knight as planned. Just to c4. If we can weaken the dark squares, take this bishop out, would weaken white's dark squares fundamentally. Then a d5 and bishop c5 should be more effective, because there will be no dark square bishop if we take this guy out, obviously. But the dark squares are kind of weaker, and d5 is the kind of liberating move. Liberates the queen, liberates the bishop, potentially on this diagonal. So these two diagonals are often liberated with a move like d5. You can take this bishop off, it's probably more effective. This d5 move. There might also be e5. Both of these breaks in this Scheveningen pawn structure, they're very interesting. White's got to watch out here for e5 and d5 in these setups. Who's been confirmed? Anyone been confirmed as an engine abuser in this tournament? Is it me from the previous game? It was pretty accurate, probably. I'll be flattered. Oh my god, there's no answer. Is it me? Alright, takes here. We've got this F file. Oh right, you're joking about the king move. Oh god. It's given up e5 as well, so I'm taking that e5 because I think this is very useful. His king's on f2. So yeah, there's a few things about this king on f2 in this configuration. The knights are having a party. They're having a great party here, these knights. Oh no! Hang on. Not laughing now. Not laughing now. I don't want the lines opened. I don't want this g-file. I'm going to retreat this bishop rather casually. I'm going to retreat that bishop. Let him have that pawn. Keep the lines closed. Please keep these lines closed. As closed as the M25 in traffic. Yeah? Don't want any fast running motorways to the king here. I'm hoping this is not dead already, this position. I don't know it. That'd be really sad, wouldn't it? If I didn't know it and it's already dead. FG. I'm wondering rook e8. It doesn't look completely dead to me. It looks as though there's still prospects, but I might have this completely wrong. I don't know. So, I mean, the prospects are beautiful for the position, but what's the harsh reality here? Is the king getting mated? I know it looks as though there's like storm clouds here. But we're coming through now, aren't we? In time? Are we not? There's knight takes for a start. On c3. Might be worth it. have a quick look. Knight takes queen c3. Yeah, I like the look of it more than knight takes e3 in some respects. I don't know. I'm going to try it. It's not like an infinite amount of time to analyse. It's only like 3 minutes, and it's not just this position. It's so it looks as though, okay, it regains a pawn. No, I don't know. One of the ideas is to undermine e4 anyway. If we can take this knight out, we're weakening e4. All right. Storm clouds brewing. We take here. Oh, I don't want to lose that knight. This is going to be tragic, isn't it? There's g6 coming. Oh god. Hang on, there's no. Isn't there knight d3? hang on a sec. There's knight d3. Forcing move. That's a knockout blow. He just resigned. Quick termination there. This is so fascinating, this Nimzo Larsen attack. I think I mentioned it the other day on stream, but I didn't really have time to say about it. You see, if you play knight f3 on the first move and they play d5, it's like they've committed to a light square strategy, sealing the light squares. So it works well with your dark square strategy. So knight f3, d5, b3 is very good. There's a Raymond Keane kind of fantastically immortal game, if you know about Raymond Keane, where it started off knight f3, d5, b3, and it looked really quiet, and then it exploded. The entire game just exploded. I'm gonna have to video annotate it soon. But we've got a dark square grip, and it's helped because of black's light square play. That this is actually kind of an improvement on playing b3 immediately. The problem with b3 immediately is black can put stuff in the way of the diagonal straight away with the e5 and equalise, I think, quite easily. So Larsen's opening is 1 b3, and there's a good wiki article about it. The Nimzo Larsen is knight f3 first, then if d5, b3 is more effective than usual. Does anyone get that, what I've just said? Knight f3, d5 is b3 is more effective than usual because black has committed to a light square strategy. I'm not sure if this is does that make any sense to anyone? It's a finesse which I've only recently sort of discovered about, if you want to play the Nimzo Larsen system, you start off with knight f3. You don't play b3. If you play b3, you haven't got the early sort of central control. Black can react with e5. Yeah, it can block in your bishop. Yeah. So Aaron Nimzovich apparently preferred knight f3 first, and then he later did play, b3 later. But especially if you look at black's pawn configuration, if they've got pawns on light squares, they're trying to grip the light squares. Here I'm wondering, you see, about these two weaknesses. I'm wondering about this queen g4 in particular. The en passant, but taking on e6. I mean, if we can grab this centre pawn, I think that's enough. There doesn't have to be a major attack if we can grab a pawn here. Knight f3 is a real chameleon opening. If you start a game with knight f3, I mean, also obviously you've got the option of like c4 for the English opening. Can we play bishop a3 here? and just take here, which is just getting a tempo. I mean, oh god, I didn't see that move. Oh dear. Didn't see that. It's a good one. Or is it? Yeah, d5 knight takes e5. Rook f4, is that move? Oh, there's no immediate entry point. So I'm wondering about rook f4. Just on this. Is this ridiculous? I don't know how ridiculous this is to try and win that centre pawn. f5. See, ef, knight f6, there's queen e6. I don't think this works because there's queen e6, it's check. f5, you'd think it might win a piece or something, but I think because it's check here, I don't think it matters. So this looks like a good position. Oh, quick resign. That's very gentlemanly. A lot of people on the site are very gentlemanly. It's a really fantastic site. It's really an amazing site, I've got to say. A lot of the people in this community are fantastic on the League Chess community. I mean, to resign that quickly, you go onto certain other sites which are more popular, you've just got idiot little shits, basically, pardon the French, that will probably just play on till their time runs out, because basically those sites are basically, I don't know where they've harvested all these millions of accounts, but they're like full of like these like little idiotic kids that will make you sort of wait like 10 minutes or whatever. So it's pointless trying to play anything apart from bullet chess on those sites, because you get these, you know, if you're playing against these toads, you're just wasting your time. Yeah, you might as well just play bullet. Yeah, and even on bullet you get these little morons that kind of think it's funny to put on an engine. Even in bullet chess they have these like engines running even in bullet chess, and it's not as well policed, so you know. Right, so f5. Actually, this looks pretty bad position. It looks pretty terminal position. Funny enough, it does look as though I've been done over here by the rank 7 in the tournament. It looks pretty terminal. Hold on a sec. I think f5 in the circumstance might be an idea, maybe for c6. b5 and rook a4. Queen f6. Alright, maybe it's not a dead position just yet. I'm wondering about this. Is this a cheeky little move for rook a4? And by the way, knight d4, there's rook d4 for knight f3. Not that he wants to go into a self pin, I'm just saying. Okay, so rook a4. Okay, it's supported by the rook, it's possible, or rook d4. I'm wondering also about b4 actually. Right, b takes for knight d3, but this rook's going to be hanging. So there's like a tactic to win the rook. It wouldn't work out. Knight c4 looks risky for the king. That's fascinating. I wonder about just taking this and hoping for the, maybe just castling after, or c3. Knight d3 is actually looking possible. If castling h4, well, does c3 actually cut it? Rook a3 or knight d3? Fascinating. I don't want to spend too long on this. Oh, I'm going to castle. Alright, this rook is kind of a tactical liability sometimes, because if the king was in the okay, I don't want to. I can't explain it, but that easily. I mean, not that quickly. Okay, so c3, g5. Well, c3 looks like a good punt to keep that pin. g5 looks really dangerous. This could go badly. This position. Maybe knight d3 was worth playing. I'm not entirely sure how doomed this is or otherwise. Okay, taking. Can we get another pin here? Can we not play c5? Or there's g5, queen g7, f6, queen g6. I'm going to try that for queen g7. Because if the thing is rook g4, then we get f5. He plays g5, right? Okay, doesn't. It just basically undermines the pawn chain here. We want to undermine this pawn chain. With check. Now what? Wow. Oh, bishop d3 takes. No. c4, knight c4, d5. Okay, I don't want to run out of time, particularly. Is there any sort of safe looking move? I'll try this. It's just to avoid the immediate d6 collapse. See, rook b4 might be fun. Takes. Queen moves somewhere. Queen d4, knight d3, rook d3. Okay, another normal move, not completely insane. There's queen g3 check there. This one, maybe, I've no idea actually. I'm just trying to avoid this g-file disaster. 1 minute 13 to 2 minute 18. Rook f4, there was queen g3. Okay, this is going into a pin. Knight g4, we can handle this with the protection. Oh, just blundered a piece. Okay, fantastic. He didn't take it, the piece. Even more fantastic. 1 minute 2 to 2 minutes 6. Rook on the 7th. Keep these pawns for a laugh. Win the exchange for fun. So a3 will drop. And look at the c4. takes. B2. Knight b3. Alright, yeah, I thought knight b3 is hitting d5. It's only a 5-minute game. Can't analyse it that much, but d5 is weak. Bishop, the rook might be trapped. The f file is weak. Probably there's a focal point on f2 here. Coming up. Here. For the rook out. Don't really want to let this rook out. Go for this instead. Maybe like this on f2. Eventually bishop d4 for rook f2. If knight f3 there, takes queen takes. Well, there's rook f2 now immediately. We find ourselves in pole position. And the second place person, even better, has just lost. So we're in pole position with 18 minutes to go. We've won the last 6 games. 6 games with Berserking. Sicilian last time was fun, wasn't it? Sicilian defense. You see, this dictates a light square strategy, right? So you go onto a dark square strategy, you see that. It's a feature of many openings that you're kind of choosing your square strategy, kind of depending on the opponent's square strategy as well. They're on a light square strategy, you're on a dark square strategy, yeah. To make a really fighting game. I don't know, it never occurred to me. Oh, the stupid thing about the knight f3 thing, just harping on about that again, is if you look at the move d4. Let's imagine the move d4. The most popular response often is knight f6, yeah, which is like a reverse Nimzo Larsen. Knight f6, yeah. So it's an alternative to control immediately control a central square. So you don't play like knight. You don't get like d4 b6 as being popular. And it occurred to me, you know, I don't play to d4 b6. I play knight f6 to d4. When white plays d4, right? White plays d4. They're on a dark square. It's like dark square control, and knight f6 is like light square control immediately. Anyway, I might do a video about this at some point. f4 doesn't that win a piece? Because d4 there's bishop f5 and there's bishop d3. I can't imagine. Hang on, I can't imagine this d4 check being that destructive. Surely just king here. Okay, there's no bishop f5 because he just takes. But are we not just winning a piece? What? Is that possible? Bishop takes... I don't know about queen d7 because the knights are a bit fragile. This could be tricky. I can imagine this being tricky somehow. I'll take this off, but I just don't want an entry point of the queen just yet, somehow, if that can be avoided. Okay, it's a bit scary. I don't know. Somehow it looks a bit fragile. Maybe it's okay. Just d5 on CD. I'm just wondering about these light squares, but at the moment, if we rule out these two, I'm not sure white's getting onto the light squares that easily. Famous last words. Actually, white does seem to be going for the light squares. Okay, okay. Is there a little tactic? I don't know. Knight e5 to swallow a rook. Does that work? To swallow a rook? That sounds a bit rude. Swallow a rook. I don't know. Knight takes queen takes. I don't think that's terminal death or anything. Rook takes e7. I don't think that's terminal death either. So it looks overall as though knight e5 is a good idea here. There's two knights holding g6, right? Hang on. This backfires as well because the knight takes f3 on the pinner. There's a pinner backfire on takes CD. Knight takes f3 check. Except he's pins that piece. Can we unpin with rook f6? No, we just support it. Alicia 75 is only 3 points away, by the way. 3 points away. Alicia 75, 3 points away. It's a shame. I thought there was a bigger gap we could have created, but anyway, no matter. 12 minutes to go. And there's rook takes f3 for knight takes. Or knight takes, in fact. G takes, okay, weakens the king. In fact, G, well, that's pinned. Oh, I'm doing it anyway. Unpinning, threatening this. So it's unpinning and it's kind of threatening knight takes f3. That's good enough for me. It looks like it's a piece up. It's a piece up. There's only 2 minutes 17. Can't really calculate everything. It's a piece up though. Unless queen takes d6 is a major disaster. I wouldn't imagine it is, because there's a check. King moves, then there's knight check, winning the queen. Oh my god. Oh my god, don't tell me there's f4. Hang on. There's f4. Hang on. Check. Oh blimey, looking scary. Looking scary for f4 now. Fantastic. I'm really messing this up because of f4. Is that really the case? It's a pinned pawn. There's rook f8. I can't imagine f4 is killing because of rook f8 here with the king on f1. Okay, he's on the rook. Just protect everything. Threatening mate. Can't be that bad. With one move, getting rid of an unprotected piece. Creating a battery. Can we just get the queens off? It keeps pinning this. Go away. .94. There aren't that many pawns to handle for the knight. I don't think knights are that bad in an endgame. They're sometimes worse than bishops statistically, but here it's only like famous last words. It's only one pawn for the knight, but it's 1 minute 16. His king's more aggressive, right? Sure. So I want to get more aggressive king here. He runs out of pawn moves, which he's not going to. So his king's going to be more aggressive, right? Can we do this? That holds the fort. With knight c5, the knight's going to do some damage here, surely. Yeah, we can always do king there. Oh, we got the running a pawn. Oh, he has to get out of the way and stuff. Am I being too blasé here? I think the knight can just come back. We're just quitting. Okay, I don't want to stalemate particularly. There's king g4, I think. Trying to avoid the stalemate. 29 seconds. Okay, queen here. There's king h4. This is the simple way to do it. You set up the force field. Yes, for those new to chess, think of it as a force field. So the king can't escape this row, and then hopefully try and avoid a stalemate. Yeah, which is really embarrassing. It occurs a lot in bullet chess. Or when you've got 23 seconds left. Oh, we seem to have increased our lead to 8. He's lost. The 2100 lost. Oh no. I can't be bothered with this guy. Sorry. Stories grazed. Some weaknesses here on the diagonal, so if you can finish out the bishop, hopefully, instead of accepting the wings gambit, I had this in over the board, you try and not give the opponent dynamism, basically. That's the essential thing. If they want to play a gambit, it means they've got this psychology of wanting to give up material for dynamic aggressive play. So if you can refuse that and just exploit the weaknesses, especially in a longer time control, this is a really cool thing to do. Just for check, and the bishop had a great game over the board. I think a couple of seasons back, I just mashed someone. They tried to play something like the wings gambit. So you don't accept the gambit. You just try and exploit weaknesses. You see what I mean? It's not much dynamic play from white here if you don't accept the gambit. I mean, hopefully, like c3 is like weaker than usual. So e5. In fact, you know, there might be some dark square weak. They're all the dark squares are pretty weak here, but c5 and the c file. If you get a knight to c5 taking here, this could be weaker than usual. c2. It's all because of that wings gambit is like weakening the queen side. There's a good pressure on e4, but there's only 3 minutes left of this tournament, but we're in a good position to win the tournament because there's only there's an 8-point gap. At least you're 75 is an 8-point gap. Threatening knight takes to win a piece. The d5 square is sufficiently covered at the moment. Otherwise this is often a positional thing to take on f6 to weaken d5, but here it seems black's got reasonable d5 control. I think there's a fork like this on knight takes e5. That's c3. So knight takes queen d4. I'm hoping that's just a fork. Actually, there's knight c6. It's not so clear cut. Forgot about knight c6. Didn't calculate that. Actually, knight takes. Hold on. Knight takes. There's knight takes g5. And rook c3. Well, knight f4 might be plausible because knight e5, rook e5. No, queen f4, knight h5, bishop e8, knight f4. Gets all pretty complicated. But knight f4 might actually be plausible as well. Some sort of weird reason. Okay. Knight takes. Well, at minimum, there's a check here, disruptive check. So I think I'm going to play this. I think knight e5 is not working that well because at minimum there's knight h3 just to damage the pawn structure. At maximum, knight e5, rook e5, queen f4. There's an interesting forcing sequence. You know, knight h5, bishop. Okay, I can't go into it now. Okay, but here the f4 knight looks good. Just the dark squares in general look good. I didn't know this side was that weak, but there's c3 and f4 are two key weak dark squares. I think bishop h6 is pretty dangerous here for knight h3 check just to win the queen. Yeah, I regarding the person I've been avoiding, yeah, I just looked at the recent games, very low centre pawn loss, and it's his new account, someone that was harassing me before. That's the reason for that. Nothing to do with his rating, by the way, just to clear that up. Nothing to do with that person's rating. Okay, the tournament's ended. It's like 4 seconds left of this tournament. I was on this. The tournament's kind of ended. I think we've won it. Was it a shaky start in this? It looks as though he's healed up most of his weaknesses, or is he creating more ones? I don't know. Like King G2, I mean, it looks as though White's position is pretty good. I mean, in many respects, to be objective. Maybe F5. Just trying to open up this. The King's like there. No, it's pinned. I've just realised something about this position. Isn't there Bishop C4 just kind of winning the Queen? That's a bit unfortunate. This is Bishop C4 winning the Queen. This is what I call a weakness of the last move. You see this diagonal being slightly weakened with the King there. Bishop C4 kind of winning the Queen. Apart from that, everything was fine. So let's just quickly sidestep the King here. Oops. That's what I call a weakness of the last move. See that F5? You know that classic weakness of the last move? I go on about it a lot on YouTube, yeah? Oh dear, oh dear. Sorry. Okay, yeah. Look, I've only got 2.5 minutes. What do you expect, yeah? Not a bleeding computer, am I? Did I say I was a bloody computer? No. Is he putting his king on this diagonal? I hope so. There might be something fun going on here, actually. King G2 E4. Oh, he didn't put it on the diagonal. That's so unfair. I was looking forward to a nice, juicy little tactic there. Now what? Oh no. 2 rooks for the Queen. There's a lot of pressure on E4 though. I like how the pieces are coordinated. These guys. Team. There was an episode, there was this, the IT crowd had a great episode. I don't know if any of you have seen that on YouTube. About team. Alright, unfortunately this is a double attack on 2 pieces which look quite nasty at first sight. Actually maybe rook e6 then takes looks like a total disaster. This one for f takes, actually, hold on a sec. Let's check. Now e5 or e takes. Okay. But it looks as though it's funny, you know, the king's kind of, you know, exposed here. It looks as though there's 2 bishops which want to do something against the king, and there's 2 rooks which kind of want to do something against the king as well, potentially. The queen is not in such a bad spot. How does this all come together tactically? After say e5, rook takes, queen here, threatens mate. Rook e2, then what? Actually, there's rook f5 check. This might be an idea. Rook takes d3. Takes, even if it's forcing. Okay. Can we not just play this? The queen. I'll do it anyway. This is too tempting, this diagonal. Queen's coming off. Hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on. Wait, wait, wait. No, check. There's queen c6. Alright, so take this off. I just thought it's worth looking at the check, but there was queen c6. Now, e3, rook f2. It looks as though they're all converging. Or not. Can we keep this guy on for a moment? Because it's quite a useful attacking piece. Something horrible like c4 takes d2. Then there's nothing, I suppose. It's a shame that c4 seems to kick this guy out of the diagonal. That minimal penalty, because check d2, then what? Then what? Pawn stuck behind the bishop. Oh, he hasn't done that. There's knight g4 coming up. That's a pain. Let's kick this knight back first. Win this pawn here. No knight f6 at the moment. There would be on there knight f6. Okay, not here, because he's taken away from knight f6. Oh my god. This defends just about. Is he taking the knight off? I'm going to get rid of this knight on f5. I'm tempted just to sack the exchange here. Hold on a sec. Stop the king from moving for a moment. Maybe bishop e5. Oh no. Maybe try and mate him with the two rooks. This is the best thing. I missed this a few, maybe more than 2 months ago. There was this idea of mowing down the king with the two rooks. You always got to be looking out for that, for just mating the king with the two rooks. There's bishop d4. Bishop d4. So again, we go to try and mate the king with the two rooks. If knight c2. That last game didn't count. Okay, yeah, we won that. That was cool. Oh wow, I'm honoured that there's so many of you on stream. Thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed that. Should I play in some other tournaments then? I just need to go to the loo. Thanks all for watching. I'm hoping it's good fun. To watch. I mean, I think it is, isn't it? I'm going to the loo. Back in a minute. Oh yeah, comments and questions on YouTube. Yeah.